Alpha Omega, my maker.
Welcome back to the channel, a channel that is all about Christ. If you're new here, thanks so much for joining us. But if you're stopping by, please do consider subscribing and joining this family all about making Jesus proud over here. This is the channel you want to join. But if you're part of the family, you already know I love and appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming back. So today I wanted us to talk about getting caught up in doing things for God without Him. Let's get right into it. So I saw this post and I thought, let's talk about it and remind each other of whatever that we are doing it for the Lord, and how we should always just check in with say on the right path. It's get a posting, getting so caught up doing things for the Lord that you forget to do it with Him. And ngifunda le post, I thought it is so true. It is so true how sometimes you're getting so caught up on doing revivals, on traveling to preach there, on being an usher, being the best usher, being the best worshiper at church, being the best serving person ebandleni. You're getting so caught up and so busy in doing things zikaNkulunkulu but yena ngasekho. And oftentimes we don't check ukuthi Nkosi sisase right. Usahamba nami Nkosi, are you still approving? Am I still doing it right? We get so caught up in doing all these things in a way that ezijabulisa thina ukuthi yo I did it, like asho best ngiyakwenza uasha, and ubungaqamba manga thought you really are the best usher, you really are the best worshiper, you serve well ebandleni, but lento so uyenza kasekho uNkulunkulu akasa approve, akasakhona ukukudirect, akasakhona ukuthi discern la buka la. So ayenza nje ayisana wisdom. And in everything that we do, we need to make sure that God is pleased, because we're doing it for Him. So He needs to be in it, so that asiqaphise lapha. But sometimes we get so caught up in doing all these things, sikhohle ukuthi kunoNkulunkulu above everything. And I think sometimes we get caught up because sishayelwa izandla. Like how people would say, yo, Nomanda, you're doing so well with your channel, the consistency, like your videos are inspiring, we are learning a lot, right? The more abantu bangncoma, the more I get so caught up in doing these videos for the wrong reason. Gandhi, it's a must with now and again. I have to check with God. Even nami engqondweni yami, search for anything eyenza ngiqhubeke nale channel because it feeds my pride, because I want to ukuduma, or lokuthi sometimes even nathi our mind iyakhohlwa ukusikhumbuza ukuthi this is about Jesus. You are doing it for Him, therefore He needs to be here with you, so that He directs you, He corrects you, He rebukes you mawubheda. But sometimes you get so caught up njengoba ngisho like mawushayela izandla, like yo, oh uyadumisa sibani. And I'll be like, I never miss a service at church, I never do this, I never do this. You are caught up in doing the right thing, and you are thinking you're doing it for God, but masangasekho, it's not for Him. Kusho ukuthi ama reasons akho asashintshile. It's like someone opening a ministry anganalo ubizo. It's a good thing because ufuna ukushumayela, right? But manje masangasekho uNkulunkulu, what's the point? And sometimes siyakhohlwa because siba busy esontweni kwenziwa lokhu khona nje, like especially people who serve a lot ebandleni, they got so caught up, like whether mhlambe administrator webandla or board yebandla, you're always busy. Naku kuza I Passover weekend, you are busy planning all the services, uyehlenyuka kubukwa ama venue, kwenziwa this kwenziwa that, kuplan ukudla, preparing for the big weekend, and you get so caught up in being busy doing things for God angasekho. And it's a very thin line that we need to watch. So ngithemba le post, it really hit me ukuthi ngempela we really need to do something and pause and check with God. God, am I still on the right path? Are you still approving? Sisase right in mina nawe, because akusizi ukuthi nathi kushayela izandla and say, yo, you really are a good server ebandleni, you really are a good worshiper, a good usher, whatever that you do. Sikubongele sithi you are doing it very well, but uNkulunkulu lo nguyena okubizile, lo nguyena othi wena wenzela yena, He's not pleased. So akusizi. That is why lithi iBhayibheli uyothi hambani benzi bobubi bathi hawu asihilanga yini abantu ngegama lakho. It's because sometimes we get so caught up doing the right thing. It really is the right thing. You are caught up in doing the right thing, whether you are donating for the poor, whether you are donating Aguma orphanage. You get so caught up in doing the right thing that you forget to check ukuthi lo othi uyamenza kusasekhona yini. Does he still approve? Is he pleased? Because sometimes when we're doing all these things, he's a God that constantly says, he's not a one-way God. But because we get so caught up in doing it for us, the one way. Why because I'm really good at this, but why ngasasebenza? Because akasekho uNkulunkulu, and uNkulunkulu makakhona, he constantly gives you ideas ukuthi asiyenze kanjena ke manje. In this season izoba impactful mawuyenza kanje. In this season iyenze kanje. Okay, asibe constant ke manje. Asenze so, but because akasekho, you are so caught up, we are so busy doing things asiyitsheni ukuthi ziplease uNkulunkulu. It's like going to church. In this day and age, we wake up every Sunday, you bath, you go to church, but akasekho umoya ongcwele emabandleni, and we don't stop to check and say sesisodwa. We are so caught up ekutheni mose siyavuka siyaya, mose I make sure I never miss a service. That's good, and that is a good thing. But lo othi wenzela yena usasekhona na, does he still approve? Right? And we sometimes get so caught up, and like something, a lot that came in my spirit when I read this post, and I was like, oh, help us, Lord, because sometimes we really do get caught up. Sithi senze into right, ibe right vele, but lo esimenzelayo is still pleased. Usashaya izandla yini? Is he still saying, yes, continue, we are doing a good job? Okay, let's read a couple of verses. Help us, Holy Spirit. Help us, King Jesus. Colossians chapter 3, verse 23. It says, work willingly at whatever you do, as though you were working for the Lord rather than for people. So, one, you have to have the willingness to do that. And a lot of us do have the willingness. I don't want to lie. We have a willingness to do it. But, as though you were working for the Lord rather than people. As though it's saying obviously you're serving people, but gwenze beyond that. Ungakwenzeli ukuthi thina sithi you're doing a good job. Ungakwenzeli ukuthi thina sithi you really are good at this. Gwenze for the Lord. Yes, you are serving people, but gwenzele for the Lord. Because sometimes kuleka leyo understanding yokuthi but ngenzela abantu so nabo kuyadinga ukuthi babe pleased. Yes, but if you are doing it for the Lord, I kid you not, people are going to be pleased. Labo tuyabaseva, if you are doing it directly for the Lord, if your heart is in the right place, you are willing to do it, and your heart uthi Nkosi ngifuna ukwenzela wena, labo benzelayo nabo la uNkulunkulu will make sure ukuthi they are pleased. It's because you are doing it for God, not for people, not ukuthi ushayelwe yithi izandla. Thina siyajika, thina kusasa singathi hey wenza nje too much. You can't fully rely on us. But with God, if you are doing it for him, he will constantly say, asiyenze kanje, asiyenze kanje, kudingeka kanje. Do it for the Lord. Okay. So remember that the Lord will give you an inheritance as your reward, and that the master you are serving is Christ. The master you are serving is Christ. And little Bible, there's a reward for people who do things genuinely for the Lord. If you do it genuinely for the Lord Jesus, there's a reward for that. And you constantly have to check your heart, because you constantly have to check your heart. Am I still doing this for the Lord? Am I still doing this for the benefit of the kingdom? Am I still doing this because or certain motives? Okay, but if you do what is wrong, you will be paid back for the wrong you have done, for God has no favorite. So if you do it under the wrong motive, if you do it because desire yako is not in the right place, if you do it because your heart is not in the right place, you will pay for it. So that is why little people bayo mangal ukuthi how kantas hilanga inaba, it will be a shock even to you ukuthi mina lo ongayimisa service esontweni, mina lo wenza sure ukuthi everything is well esontweni before bazana bafika, mina lo clean esontweni, mina lo ane YouTube channel ahlale la akhulume ngendaba zombuso, mina. It will be a shock to us. But because we don't do things, sihlale and check with the one that has called us. Ukuthi Nkosi usase right yini? And it's ridiculous to think about it, and it's the work of the enemy ukuthi ngingakuthuma ngithi ngicela ungenzele ukuthi bese ungasangibuza ukuthi ngikwenze right yini. It's ridiculous because that's what we do. Thina sithatha uNkulunkulu athi noma nje awenze na channel. Hayi, sengigijima nayo ke mina angisambuza, ngisa ask anything. God is like, but uthunywe yimi. Awusangibuzi, sewuyazenzela. So ithi ke lento, it's a work of the enemy, and we should not allow him to trick us in doing things. Sibe busy. Ube busy. Khona abantu who are so busy. Uma uthi busy nkosami ngendaba zombuso uyangena uyaphuma esontweni kunama meeting, esontweni kune event. Ubusy ngezinto zasesontweni, ngezinto zombuso, but uNkulunkulu akekho lapho. Uyasho bazoba busy bo. And that's the danger, because if you do things in a motive wrong, you will pay for it. Listen, we will pay, because distract abantu who can do things genuinely. For our own reasons. So let's check. Pause for a second. Njengoba ubhizi kangaka nje ungahlaseki ungena uphuma nasekhayeni bayazi kakho ukuthi no ubhizi mama, ubhizi bhuti vele nje ngendaba zombuso. uNkulunkulu sa pleased na. Okay. Another verse before I close. John 15 verse 4. It says, "Remain in me, and I will remain in you. For a branch cannot produce fruit if it is served from the vine, and you cannot be fruitful unless you remain in me." The reason why we run out of ideas, the reason why siphelelwa ngamandla, the reason why sikhathala, the reason why lento sigcina singasayenzi kahle, thothi vele this is what you are called to do. You are really called to be a worshipper. But the reason why unga worship in truth and in spirit is because you are not remaining in him. Listen, you cannot be fruitful unless you remain in me. The reason why we are able to produce more fruit, to produce ama-fruit adlekayo, ama-fruit amnandi, ama-fruit enza abantu basizakale, is because we have remained in him. And sometimes we get so caught up with uyamenywa ngapha kuthiwa buzocula buzokwenzani, and so wenza yebo kubizo, and yebo this is what God wants you to do, but so wenza usarimenanga in him, and at least you not produce fruit without him. So lento so ayenza sa produce my fruit, asasiza umuntu, ayisekho beneficial to anyone. Kanti iBhayibheli lithi every gift uNkulunkulu asinikeze yona is to benefit the kingdom, is to help someone. Then lento so uyayenza as a form of help, but ayisasizi why you are not remaining with Christ. Okay, let's yes, I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who remain in me and I in them will produce much fruit. For apart from me, you cannot do anything. Apart from him, we cannot do anything. Even lento obizelwe yona leyo shonga ukuthi you are good at. But apart from him, we can't do it. Lento yenza uzo lento idle mandleni. It's because you are doing it for umfundisi. You are doing it for the church. You are doing it for the benefit of us. Kuthi sithi, yo, you are really good. Lento yenza uyizwe lento so draining kangaka. It's because you are doing it from your own strength. You are doing it for wrong reasons. Emotive yakho ayisekho kuKristu. Yebo, it is the right thing, but lo ongiyena ufuna ubuyamenzela, because tina you can't rely on us. I said this. Tina you can't rely on us. Noma singakuncoma kusasa kwafika ucula kahle sesimuve siyasho yo yacula sibani sesiphumile ku. But if your motive still stands ekutheni ngenzela uKristu, this is about Christ himself, because I understand that I can't do anything without him. Lendo iyaqhubeka produce more fruit. Okay, anyone who does not remain in me is thrown away like a useless branch and withers. Such branches are gathered into a pile to be burned. But if you remain in me and my words remain in you, you may ask for anything you want and it will be granted. Lithi-ke ngale nkathi senza anything for the kingdom of God, senza anything for Christ, sine right motive, sime in right standing with him, we can ask anything, because uNkulunkulu he now sees us as faithful servants. Ukuthi senza into for him with the right motive. Okay, lithi-ke kokugcina, when you produce much fruit, you are my true disciples. So there is no way ukuthi uNkulunkulu can give you a gift athi ngikubizele lokhu nomonde and it doesn't produce fruit. Something is wrong somewhere. Something is missing somewhere. The fact that you are working so hard at being a usher, at being a board ebandleni, at being a server ebandleni, but it does not produce more fruit. Ayikhulisi nawe, ayikhulisi nabani, ayimotivate umuntu. Something is wrong. In other words, uSujesu, this is how I see you. This is my true disciples. Why? Because the work that you are doing, the gift that you have, it produces more fruit. Then this is how I know you are my true disciples. Now again, this is how you can check yourself. Sit down with yourself and ask yourself, njengoba sengibe Asha for 10 years. Kungekho inspired, kungekho osizakalayo nje ngiasha nje mina nje ngishiqhwaga nje bandleni ngiyaziwa, but akusizi umuntu. I don't produce much fruit. Abekho abantu abangena easheni because bathi yo Sis Nomonde the way she's serving kuyangi-inspiration nami ukuthi ngifuna ukuseva njengaye. No, mina ngithi nje mangenzile mina. You have to produce more fruit. This is how we see noNkulunkulu, how he sees that we are true disciples. Because into yakhe iyamultiply. Injalo nje into kaNkulunkulu iyamultiply izale ezinye into kaNkulunkulu injalo. But because we get so caught up in doing all these things, then it can't multiply because akasekho. Okay, it's in the last part game. This brings great glory to the Father. At the end of the day, all these gifts, all these talents, all these callings, they have to bring great glory to the Lord. That is the purpose. Not to your pastor, not to me, not to your neighbor, not to abazalwane basebandleni lakho, not ukuthi thina sikushayela izandla. It must bring glory to the Father. So much so you have to be comfortable ukuthi sometimes thina singangakushayela izandla, singangakuboni as the best, but if it brings glory to the Father, then you are on the right path. Take a moment, pause from whatever that you are doing, that thing that you think you are good at, that thing, this is the right thing. I never miss a service. It's a good thing. But emotive yakhe in the right place. Usenzela lo ofuna ukumenzela na. Because we get so caught up, busy, siyehla siyenyuka, siyangena, siyaphuma, sihlela lokhu, yasenza lokhu, siyaseva, senza lokhu. But lo simhlelela akasekho. It's like lento bengisho ukuthi we wake up every Sunday. The fact that we don't get revelations emabandleni manje. Sesiyahlangana nje, it's like a meeting. Siyahlangana nje sidumadumise, kube khona abafeyikhayo ngathi bayakhala, kube khona ngathi bathandathandaza kakhulu, sicede siphume sihambe. As produce the quality yabazalwane esinabe ebandleni lethu, it shows ukuthi simephi as a church. Because remain in him, we produce ama-fruits. So equality yabazalwane yalabandleni yefuna isho ukuthi umoya ongcwele sasekhona yini. But the fact that sesiyahlangana nje sisuke emakhaya, take good baths and dress well and smell good, size emabandleni nalo yakhalakhale, nalo yangathi uyathandathandaza sidumadumise, kube ngathi meeting, sicede siphume sihambe, umoya ongcwele angashongo lutho, umoya ongcwele angasizanga anyone, kungabi bikho osindiswayo, kungabi bikho othola revelation, kungabi bikho othi uyazi bengitsho singibambile, kungabi bikho into supernatural eyenzekayo. It shows ukuthi something is missing. Because masikuye, we have to be fruitful. This is how he sees that we are true disciples. See a multiplier. I hope this helps someone. As you're watching this video, please take a moment, take a second to pause and ask yourself, njoba ngisubmitanga ngake bandleni, usasekhona yini uNkulunkulu? Yebo umfundisi is very pleased. We are dodakazi, yay, I'm proud. But lo ongibizile usase proud na. Whatever that you are doing ebandleni. Because we get distracted a lot. Take a second, take a moment, ask yourself as you're watching this video, uNkulunkulu sase pleased na. Mubuze. uNkulunkulu phela uyayikwazi ukuyikhulumela. Ask him. Because are you still pleased? Ngale duty engiyenza ebandleni, ngisayenza kahle yini? Wena njengoNkulunkulu, does it make you happy? Does it give you glory? I hope it helps someone. Comment down below. As you are watching this video, as you are hearing this quote, itini in your heart. Do you think now at some point you were distracted, doing things for God, not with him? Comment down below, let's talk, let's have a conversation. I love you so much for watching, but Jesus loves you more. I'll definitely see you next time on my next video. Bye.